Good morning, Statesman here, small van driver on the CX. It's Saturday the 14th. It's early, it's 8 o'clock. I don't know when this is going to go out because it takes a while sometimes to download, but got to get it done because got a busy weekend. Mostly rugby, to be fair. Um, Last week in the life of. Yeah, strategy A, as I call it. This is what I like to do to make it work. This is my plan A. It is when I get a load on in the afternoon to deliver the next morning. So you've already got your load on the van for the next morning and it's an early delivery. It gives you a start. And 4 days out of the 5 last week, that's exactly what happened. Um, so we'll go with the fuel prices. My cheapest fuel last week was, with VAT, 155. It's gone down slightly next week already, I'll let you know. I think it's about 4p a litre or 3p a litre, so every bit helps. We start with Monday. I got a job booked in, and it was from Corby, picking up Corby, and it was going over to Norwich, and it was wine. I was taking cases of wine, and what I was taking was what had been smashed on the Friday at the customer's delivery address. So this was to replace it, and it was quite straightforward. It was the middle of Norwich, right in the centre of Norwich, and you have to be in there before 10 o'clock and delivered. They give the delivery drivers right in the centre, that sort of window. And we did. We got it in there, and it was delivered about 9:20, and no problems. It was on the fourth floor, but there's only 7 cases. I managed to get 4 on the sack barrel and then 3. And I think that's how they were dropped before because they put too many on the sack barrel. I don't know, but that's what happened. Anyway, I got a job. I thought I was going to struggle out of Norwich, and because it can be a really bad area. And there was a job from Lowestoft to Stoke-on-Trent. Obviously going to JCB, and it was a pallet, and it was a big lump of a pallet as well. It was 200 something kilo, but no problem. Van takes good weight. I go up to 650 kilos on that van. I did put it on a weigh bridge, and it can take probably 700 kilos, 750. So yeah, you're within the rights, but yeah, it was still a big lump to put on the back. And yeah, nice and simple, and got it to JCB and dropped it off, and that was at one JCB centre. I can't remember which one. And I come out of that one and parked up, and I thought, well, that'll be it. I'll be driving home from here. I can see this, or do a tramp. Thought, no, I'd rather drive home and sleep in my own bed. And another job come on, and it was to deliver the next morning in London, in Battersea. And it was picking up from JCB, but it was from a different one, different JCB, which was fine. It was one box, and it was going to be in a security box. Nice and simple. So, went to the security box, no box there. And the lady who said she put it in the security box had gone home, and they couldn't contact her. And in fact, it ain't on the security box, it was in one of the bays. They'd repacked it because it wasn't sealed enough, apparently, to go to Battersea. And it was exhibition cards to go to an exhibition they were doing in a hotel. But we got it eventually. So we got the box, and because I'm going past Northampton to get to London, it's all sorted. So Monday night I was home 7:30. It was a long day. Monday, it was a long day, but really good money. So way over target. But yeah, did 13-hour day Monday, and then Tuesday I got an early start. I had to be in Battersea and delivering between 8 and 9. Well, Battersea Power Station is a real pain to get to at that time of day. So I set off early. I set off at 6:15, and it said it was going to be 2 hours, which gives me 7:45. I've got time for a stop, toilet, and then into London. I actually got into Battersea, and I've been to the power station before. It's fantastic now. I mean, it's all shops, hotels. It's all boutiquey. This, you know, beautiful. I got there at 9:15. It took me 3 hours because of traffic. But it's fine. It's within the time restrictions. And I found the hotel. I had to park underground. You have to pay £4 for an hour. But I'd got enough in the job for that, and delivered to the hotel. And it was going. I went to reception. She knew exactly what it was for. Signed for it, and I used the full hour to look for jobs while I was in the car park in central London. And at that time, you've got more chance of getting a good job out of London because once 10:30, 11 o'clock comes, everyone's in London looking for a cheap job out. And I got a job, and it's from Westminster, right along the embankment, right in the centre of London, right in the congestion zone, going to Burton-on-Trent. And it was 13 boxes of books going to a distribution centre in Burton-on-Trent. But I weren't picking up till 10:30, which was fine. Gives me an hour and a half. So I stayed in Battersea a bit longer. Got a bit of breakfast, very posh. It didn't cost me mountains, but for a pan of chocolate and a coffee was about £6, which obviously is expensive, but it's fine. And we got across to Westminster, 3.7 miles, 55 minutes. It's like, wow. You just, and it's just traffic, and it was in rush hour, right by Big Ben, turn right along the embankment. But the place, a good tip in London, always either phone the place you're going to, ask them where vans go to collect from, because it's never the front door. That's where all the posh people go with their suits and their nice dresses. And where us go, the tradesmen, it's always somewhere different. And it was with this place. I'd already phoned. I'd got a phone number. I googled them, found a phone number, got through to them. Yeah, it was a different street to where I was going to go to, through an archway, down a slope, and it really is. That's the way you've got to do it in London. You can't just go blind because you can't stop anywhere once you're in the inner bit. So it was all sorted, and we found it. Yeah, we had to stop once because there was a police escort. It was for the Prime Minister, I believe, going back to Downing Street, and they shut the road. Oh, it's just anyway. We got to the pickup address, and it was underground. And then up into a lift, goods lift, and we got the books, and off we went. It was all about time. It takes you forever to get out of London. Don't ever book it in London on mileage. Book it on time. You think it's going to take you. 5 mile in London is an hour, hour and a half. Can be 2 hours. It's an hour. It can be 30 minutes at the right time, but in the daytime, nah. But anyway, we got to Burton-on-Trent, got it delivered, and on the way we was looking for a job, and there was a job on there from Atherstone, picking up in the afternoon, which was about 15 miles from where I was, and it was going to be delivered on Wednesday in Basildon. Again, I put a good price on it because I'm going past the motorway, Northampton, so I can go home. And yep, we got the job. We picked it up. What I do with that, I split the job. I leave £1 a mile on it for the next day, so whatever's less that I put on the day I'm working. So, if it's £150 and the next day is 90 miles to go, I leave 90 quid on it, £1 a mile, and put 60 on for the day I'm doing it, no matter how many miles I'm doing. So it works out. Again, another really good day over target. And again, it wasn't a long day. I was home and done by 3:15. So it was only like a 9.5 hour normal day, really, for anyone else. And then we got a job. Obviously, we got the job in the morning. We've got to leave early again, 6:15. So it's my third early start, and we're going down to Basildon. And it was just one big large box, and it was going to a farm. It was units, industrial, like business units on a farm. But the one I went to, it was locked up, uh, and it was locked and bolted. It had the address on it, locked and bolted. And I phoned it. I got a contact number. Phoned it. It was a mobile. Got an answer straight away. Oh yeah, he said, we're going to be there later. He says, and there was already a pallet outside. Someone had dumped a pallet outside their door. So obviously, you know. But I phoned up, and he says, can you leave? I said, there's a pallet already here. He said, oh yeah, that was been delivered an hour and a half ago. It was a nice sunny day, luckily. And yeah, we delivered. And he says, just leave it at the door. He said, that's absolutely fine. He gave me his name. He said, I'm quite happy with it. I'm the bloke. And it was the contact. So I left it at the door, took photos, informed the shipper, what I'd done and what he'd asked, what I'd been asked to do by the contact, by the customer. So it's all good. And I'd got a job quite quick, and it's from Malden, which was a CM postcode. It was about 20 mile away, and it was going to Chipping Norton. Well, everyone knows Chipping Norton. There's only one delivery, and it's not in Chipping Norton. It's about 3 miles, 4 miles out of it, and it's a racing team. And I don't mind doing that because it's 42 miles from my house. Tell me how many times I've been to Chipping Norton. I've been there a fair few times. It's an easy drop, and it's 42 miles from my house, so I can drive home. Which is exactly what we've done. We picked the goods up. It was one huge box. It was a really big box. It fitted in the van all right, but they sort of put everything in one box, which is fine. And we got that done. And nothing coming out of Chipping Norton, nothing that rocked my boat. There was a job on there from Chipping Norton, and it was going to Chichester. And I wanted to be home because it was bike night. And I I ummed and ahed whether quoting for it, and by the time I'd ummed and ahed, it had gone. Someone had took it. But when I looked on the feed, there was actually no one around Chipping Norton. So I don't know who put that in, but they've got to be there within the next half hour. When I left Chipping Norton, they got to be there within half an hour, and there wasn't anyone within 20 miles, 30 miles. So I don't know. But I drove home. I was quite happy. I'd got enough money. I'd got a really good day. I got one long trip down to Basildon, which I got good money on. Got really good money going to Chipping Norton because it's the middle of nowhere, so you can quote good money on it because you need to be out of enough money to get home or get out of there. And that was Wednesday. Thursday, I got a job booked in, and it's funny. Thursday and Friday were quite similar. Uh, Thursday, I picked up Northampton, and it was a pallet, and it went down to Southampton. Um, Nice and easy. Again, it was an early pickup this time. I didn't have to pick up until 8:30, and the place opened at 8:30. And sure enough, I got there 25 past 8, and they were just opening up and put the pallet on the back, and off we toddled down to Southampton. So I had 3 really good days. So I was just easing off Thursday and Friday, thinking don't need to do as much. And I got down to Southampton, and I was looking for a job, and it was quiet. It was really quiet. I thought it'd be busier than what it was. And the only job that I got that come up that suited me really was Fareham, which is not far from Southampton. It's between Southampton and Portsmouth, and it was going to Feltham. I thought it was going to Heathrow Airport, but Feltham's just a bit south, and it wasn't. It was going to the actual logistics company that I was working for. So it was 2 boxes, and it was nice and easy pickup. And these were freight forwarders who was obviously putting up the airlines. And yeah, dropped it off at Felton straight away. And I thought, being in Felton at that time, which was like 1 o'clock, 1:30, I'd have a good chance of getting another job. But oh boy, I quoted on 10, 15 jobs. Nothing. There's a lot of work comes out, but it goes for peanuts because it's London. There's so many drivers around there. It goes for peanuts, and there was nothing going my way. And I thought, if I'm going to go and tramp, I want decent money. And if something had been going to Milton Keynes, Luton, Northampton on the way home, Leicester, I'd have quoted cheaper money, but they weren't. It was all going here, there, and everywhere. But I looked at the work from Northampton, and then I got a phone call uh, from a Northampton courier, and there was a job going, picking up that night, going to, believe it or not, Whiteley, which is near Fareham, the next day. So I just come from Fareham to Feltham, and yep, I said I'll do that, and I had to pick the item up. It's only a laptop before 6 o'clock that morning, that night. So we drove back from Felton empty. It's not ideal. There's a fair bit of dead miles, but I was picking an item up to deliver the next morning, which would be Friday. And we picked the item up about 4:15 and was home at 4:30. And I got the load on for the next day, which is I've got to be in Southampton for 9 o'clock. So that's strategy A gets you the money. You get a couple of jobs in and a load on for the next morning. Yes, you don't want to travel from Felton to Northampton to get the load, but if that's what it takes, it's what it takes. And we got it. So Friday morning, early start again. I was on the road again at 6 a.m. I don't mind early starts. I'm used to them. It'd be nice to get a lay in now and again. Um, and we went down, and it rained all the way down. It was a really horrible journey. Okay, traffic wise, got down there for it should be 9 o'clock, and I got there for 20 to 9. And I stopped as well and got it delivered. And before that, let's go back Thursday. I knew I'd be delivering this at 9. I'd done this job a few times. I knew exactly where I was going. I knew exactly that there'd be someone there 'cause it's offices. I ain't going to worry about no one being there. On the journey from Feltham to Northampton, going back again to Thursday, I'd already said got this job, so I was going to pick it up. I got stuck in traffic on the 25. Heavy traffic. In fact, it come to a gridlock for a while, for about 10 minutes. And I put the feed on for Southampton. And there was a job for Fareham, Southampton area. And there was a job picking up at 10:30 on the Friday from Southampton to Milton Keynes. So I thought, well, that ties in because I'm going to be in Fareham at 9 o'clock delivering. Southampton's not very far away. So I put a quote on that job as well. So and I got it. I phoned and got the job. I put it at preferential rate because it got me back to Milton Keynes on a Friday, and I'm over target for the week, and I could just drive home, Milton Keynes home. I'm have early finish, and it all worked out. Yeah, I got the job. In fact, he said, "Yeah, that's brilliant." He said, and I told him what I was doing. I said, "I'm going to be I'm going to drop it." He said, "Yeah, that's fine." He said, "If it gets you home, brilliant." So Friday, yep, let's go back to let's go back to Friday. We went left at 6. We was down in Whiteley Fareham for 20 to 9, delivered. And I was picking up. It wasn't actually in Southampton. It was only 4 miles from where I was, and it was Hedge End Retail. And I was picking up from a big retail outlet, and it was right next to Sainsbury's on this retail. In fact, it was in the same building. It was a huge retail building. And I went to Sainsbury's, filled up with fuel, and I've got time to kill an hour and a breakfast in Sainsbury's. And I have to say, it's one of the best breakfasts I've had for value for money. £5.25 for a breakfast. And nice coffee, £7.15 all in. Really nice. And I just walked through to next building, to the retail, Marks and Spencer's. And I was picking up scanners that they replaced with new scanners, and I was taking the old ones back to Milton Keynes. 2 of them. And after a bit of fiddling around, because the fitter's number I'd got, it was the wrong engineer. He was on a different job. We found the right fitter. And, yep, he got the scanners, and he was just checking that the other scanners were okay, what he'd fitted in. They were. And I took these old scanners back to Milton Keynes. That's what you want on a Friday. Back, hunky dory, early finish. Going to be done by 1 o'clock and over target. That's how it should have worked. Nothing wrong with this job. Back to Milton Keynes. And I was in Milton Keynes at 12:15, 12, and dropped him off. No problem at all. Waiting for me. I've been to this road before, picked up from 2 factories up. So all good. And I was driving up the M1, happy as Larry, thinking this is my week done. And a job popped up, Northampton to Corby. And I was going to drive by it, and it's only 22 miles. And I quoted double that. And thinking, if I get it, I've got nothing out of Corby. I'm going to have to drive back empty. But I'll put that quote in. I know they won't. And it went for it straight away. It went for it straight away. I thought, well, I'll do it. I've got nothing else on. So I wanted early finish. But I thought, well, even if I go Corby. I was picking up at 1:30. And I would be in Corby for just after 2. I'd be home up as 2. Nice. Yeah, no problem. Pick the item up. It was medical stuff, 1 box, and it went to residential address. They was in, all nice and easy, done. And now I'm looking for a job for Monday. And while I was in Corby, a job come up Corby, pick up Corby, uh, and deliver to Essex, down to Burnham on Crouch, Burnham on Sea, somewhere in Essex, Monday morning. I thought, brilliant, ideal. I thought, couldn't believe it. It's like it's just fell in my lap. So I put a bid in it, a good bid on it, good for me. I thought, well, I'm going to Corby. It's got to go roughly past Northampton to get there anyway. And yeah, I phoned up. I got a phone call straight away. There was no other driver in Corby, by the way, at this time, only long wheelbase. And I thought, well, I've got a good chance of getting it. And yes, he phoned up. He said, yeah, brilliant. I said, is it going to be ready? Because it said pickup time between 2:30 and 8:30 at night. So it give you a good flexible time. I said, I'm going to be there 2:30. I said, I don't want to be waiting around. I want it picked up, really. He said, yeah, it'll be there at 2:30. Fantastic. So it was from RS Components in Corby, which can be a bit of a nightmare. But it was one box. I got the description, I got the reference number. But when I went in, they said, no, it's not being released. Really? Yep. This was after about 20 minutes waiting. It's going with two other parcels to that address. So it's going via a different carrier altogether. It was a bit of a kerfuffle. I phoned the ship. I couldn't get through to him. And unfortunately, the reason was he was at a funeral. But he came out, he must have come out of the funeral, got my message. I'm waiting around now thinking, I don't know what to do really. I don't want to leave sight, but I want to inform him what's happened. Anyway, he got back to me. Really nice bloke. And he said, can you wait there? He said, because it's not up to them to say it's going via here. He said, my customer wants that box and wants me to get it and get it there Monday morning. He said, I don't want to go. So he contacted his customer, blah, blah, blah. And it took about an hour and 10 minutes to sort out, which was annoying on a Friday because I could have been home if I'd have took the job to Corby 2.5, 3 hours ago. But it's a job for Monday. And then eventually he come back. He said, you're taking all three parcels. There's only three boxes. They're the same size. They're not massive boxes. He says, we're going to take all three. He says, I'll give you the other reference numbers. We've emailed the lady and I got a copy. So I went back in and give him the three reference numbers, says I'm taking all three. And in the end, the email had gone through eventually. And I showed the email I got and they released the three boxes. So we eventually got it all on. Don't get me wrong, I was still home at 4:30, but I could have been home at 1 o'clock, finished. So them last 3.5 hours. But I've got a job for Monday. Deliver at 8:30 in Essex. So it's going to be a 6 o'clock start Monday. But it's what gets you the money. Anyway, I've rambled on about the week. It was a good week. It was a really good week. And the reason was because I've got 4 jobs on the van for the next morning, early delivery, and it's money, early start. I did 1,684 miles, which is the most I've done for quite a while. I did a 52-hour week, which the main ones are Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday were the long days. Thursday and Friday was not as long. Um, and I did 38 hours driving, which is 8 hours a day, roughly, if you think about it. 8 5's 40, yeah, just short of 8 hours a day. And before that, I got £1,150, which add the VAT on is 1,380, 1,380. You take off the VAT man's 10% because I'm on flat rate, as you know, and it comes out at 12.42, which is a really good week. And funny enough, the previous week I did really well. I got 12.36, so £6 difference. So the last 2 weeks have been really good, but everything seems to have clicked into place for me. I did a lot of CX work this week. I did only 3 jobs that were non-CX. The rest were all CX jobs. But there seemed to be a lot about. I don't know whether it was just the areas I was in or I was just lucky. I don't know. But yeah, it averaged out at £248 a day. So that's good. I mean, anything over my minimum now is 200 a day. So anything over that is a bonus. But it gives you the opportunity to earn it now because when they are a bit bleaker, you've got the money. So that's all I can say. Hope you're doing well. We've got rugby all day today, really, and rugby pretty much all day tomorrow. I've got to go and give the van a good clean, and then we're out for about 4 hours, and then we're back for the 2 matches this afternoon and tonight. And then we've got the matches tomorrow. We've got our Saints are playing as well. First game. Come on, boys. Got to sail away. Could be a tricky one. Yeah. Hope you're all doing well. I've got 860. 960 subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed, please do. It doesn't cost you anything. I'm going to repeat what other YouTubers say. It doesn't cost anything, and it helps get the word, spreads the word out there, and it makes me look good. So subscribe, costs nothing, and I'll speak to you next week.